All right, Chapter 6, Section 2. Here's a question from the homework. I'm looking at number 13, and we're looking at using these binomial probabilities. And they have these crazy calculations using the combinations and all these exponents. And this is one of my favorite places to use StatCrunch just because of the visual that we get. So we know that a recent poll found that 50% of adults in a certain country believe that the overall state of moral value is poor. So 50% of adults believe the overall state of moral values is poor. If a random sample of 40 adults in this country is conducted in which they are asked to disclose their feelings on the overall state of moral values, do these things, right? So I want to find out exactly 32. So I'm looking at a binomial. They either think it's poor or they don't think it's poor. So that's why it's a binomial. So I'm going to go to StatCrunch and I'm going to use my binomial calculator. It'll compute all these probabilities for us. And we'll be using a normal calculator later on in the course. But if I go to Stat, Calculators, Binomial, and it gives me this neat picture, right? I know that the number of adults that I have is 40, and the probability that they think it's poor is 50%. So that's the information that I need to get started. So I have 40 people I'm sampling, and the probability is 50%. Now, you notice to find these probabilities, I have these inequalities, I have equal to, and then the number of people we're looking for. So the first question said exactly, which means equal to, 33. Bam, there's my probability, right? If it, exactly 33, and I think we're rounding to 4 decimal places. If I round correctly, I think that's going to be a big old 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the number to the right is 1, so I'm going to get a whole bunch of zeros. 0.1, 2, 3, 4. Zeros. That's incorrect. Uh-oh. Oh, exactly 32. I did 33. Bad boon. What? Got to make sure I read these numbers correctly. So let's see. Well, exactly 32, if I choose 40, 50%. 1, 2, 3, 4. But the number to the right is 6, so that means I'm going to round up. So I should get a 0.0001. Excellent. Again, so make sure you don't do what I did and you read the right numbers. 32. Interpret the results. In 100 trials, we expect about 5 trials to result in exactly 32. So all this is based off of 100. This is 1/10,000th, right? So this is really low. So in 100 trials, I would expect 0. You could figure this out by doing 100 times 0.0001, and that's going to give you a number that's pretty close to 0. So we'll click a D on that one. Awesome. No more than 16. So if we go back to this, no more than 16. What does no more than 16 mean? Does it mean greater than? Does it mean less than? Does it mean greater than or equal to? So no more than 16. That means I can go up to 16, but I don't want to go past 16. So no more than would be a less than or equal to 16. And there's my probabilities, right? And highlighted in red is the no more than 16. That represents 0.1340, so roughly 13.5%, somewhere in there, would be everything less than or equal to 16, at no more than 16. So I'll go back in and do 0.1341, 0.1341. Hot dog. I like hot dogs. Okay, so in this one, that means we'd expect, if I'm looking at 1341, if I'm rounding, oh geez. So I got this one that says 13, this one that says 14. I would say if I'm rounding, I'm going to go with 13. 13 trials. I'm going to go to a closer number. Excellent, good. More than 18. So I go back And I got my 18 in here, but it says more than 18. So is that greater than or equal to or greater than? More than 18. That is greater than, more than 18. And I get this probability of 0.6821, rounded to 4 decimal places. 0.6821. Awesome. All right, so this is how you work these problems. With the binomial calculator, you also can do between. So if I wanted to say in between, I think some of the other questions are going to do this, 30 and 35, right? It'll give us those probabilities. Now again, these include, I think a lot of times they say inclusively, include 30 and 35. But, so we have the between, and we just have when we're dealing with one thing. But these calculators are awesome. They give us a visual representation of what's going on, and we can find the probabilities pretty easily. So, I hope this helps with Chapter 6, Section 2, using your binomial probability calculator. Have a good day.